always interested in psychology and personality types. Um, my whole life, I was kind of interested in like the zodiac signs and horoscopes. I always knew about Myers Briggs, but about 3 or 4 years ago is when I really started to get into INFPs and my personality type, understanding what an INFP strengths and weaknesses are. And that's kind of when I really became more familiar with it and learning about how I can use my strengths and understand my weaknesses to help me understand myself better.
Hello everyone, I am Blue Sky. My real name is Proma Pal and I am an engineer. I live in Kolkata, West Bengal and I have become 26 years old this year. So my educational qualification is electrical engineering and professionally I am a freelancer. I do some online tutoring and I am an artist in Redbubble and other POD sites. Apart from this, my hobbies are writing, singing, and painting. I believe many group people have seen my writing and art already. How did I found out I'm an INFP? It was like that I was very depressed in February 2022 and I wanted to know who I really am. So I took a personality test and that gave me the result that I am an INFP. So that's how I knew that there's something called like INFP personality. But the way I found out that I am a real INFP is that I did some introspection of my soul and my inner mind, and that's how I came to know. Yeah, I have the qualities of an INFP, and I love to be beyond.
I think there are three big challenges we face as female INFPs. The first one I would say is that we are so scared of confrontation. We hate conflict. We hate having to stand up for ourselves, express anything that feels a little bit confrontational. We just want peace. We don't want any problems. We don't want to stand up to people. And this is very challenging because, in every area of our life, right? We don't want to express our needs in a relationship with our partner. We're scared. We don't want to cause problems in a career. We can also be afraid to confront, our bosses and say, "Hey, we want a raise or we want more training," and that really holds us back. So there's a lot of ways that that fear of confronting others holds us back. The second challenge I would say is that we can feel a little bit isolated socially. We feel like, nobody really understands us. We're deep thinkers. We, can't relate to other people. And the fact that we're introverted and quieter makes it hard to sometimes feel like we fit in a social setting. And then the third challenge I would say is that we tend to procrastinate and we can be disorganized. And, we have all these big ideas and goals and we want to grow and learn, and we have all these ideas in our head, but then the practical steps of actually doing them, not procrastinating, not pushing them off, not being lazy, those are what our challenges are, and those hold us back from what we can achieve.
I believe we all know what are the challenges we generally face, but for me, it was like I really love to be an INFP, but it was very hard for me to express what in my mind, especially strongly when I have to say my mind. I couldn't do it, and that has kicked me behind many times in my life. I think if someone cannot express what they in their mind, they are always second guessed, and this was the biggest challenge I have faced all over my life. And I believe, apart from this, being an INFP was a very sweet journey for me. And if I learn to speak my mind, I believe I will achieve every dreams I have in my life.
So, to overcome the challenges that we just talked about, I'm going to go into each one. So, for being scared of confrontation, to avoid confrontation, you really need to go for it. You need to think, okay, let's say it doesn't work out. You go to your boss, you ask him for a raise, and your worst case scenario happens. He says no. What are you going to do, right? You're probably going to go back to your desk, be upset, maybe listen to music, take a walk, right? It might be awkward for a few days because you asked him and now he said no. You might want to think about leaving your job, but it's over. It happened. Let's say you're scared to ask your partner or your friend for something you need or for help or expressing yourself. You're really scared that they won't give it to you or they won't meet your needs or they won't validate you. That happened. But if it does work out, you got your raise, you have more money. If it did work out with your partner or friend, you became closer to them. They gave you what you needed. They listened to you. So you have to kind of minimize, the effects of the confrontation. Like it's not as bad as you think. It might be a little bit awkward or scary, but it's really not. And play it out. And then you also need to realize that the potential pros of what you can achieve are more important. So, you can't be so afraid. The second challenge that I talked about was socially, we feel very isolated. We feel like no one understands us. We kind of get in our heads about being alone and, being the quiet one and all that. So, it's much easier to deepen connections that you do have than to meet new people. So, that means if you have a coworker, try to text them to get together outside of work, try to go that way. If you have a friend or like a mutual friend or acquaintance and you say to your friend, "Hey, is there anybody that you can introduce me to that you might think I'll connect with? Maybe I don't know them, but you heard about them, like your friend was talking about them." So try to reach out to your current friends and see if you can make new connections and introductions that way. And again, we're very INFPs are very open-minded. We're very easygoing. We easily understand others, and I know that we think nobody gets us deep down, and we're more scared than we need to be because we're very flexible and open-minded, and we can make friends. We just need to make the effort of texting people that we kind of know and saying, "Hey, do you want to go out for coffee or for a walk?" So that's that one. And then the third challenge was procrastination, and how we can actually get things done. So, it's too long to go into now, but I'll say a few small tips. Most of this is from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. You should really, really read that. If you didn't read that, it is such an amazing book, especially for people like us. It really helps us with habits. So, the first step is you need to have a goal because if you don't have a goal, you don't know what you're going to do. We are so idealistic. We want to change the world and change our life and everything. That's not going to work. You cannot change everything at once. So you need to pick one small goal, whether it's your career, your relationship, your social life, a personal goal, getting in shape, doing something for you. So you have to pick one. And the way you decide which one is what is most important for me right now. Do I need to first heal my trauma and work on myself personally? Am I not in good shape? Is that my number one thing? Or do I really need to work on my career and make more right now? You have to decide right now what's the most important thing to you and pick that goal. And then you need to pick a small, small, small change, okay? We're talking about, you want to be healthy, you're working out for 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, you're watching a short YouTube video, you're doing a few squats, you're not doing an hour because it is very, very easy to say, I don't have an hour. But it is not easy to say I don't have 5 minutes because everyone has 5 minutes, right? You're reading one page of a book. You're writing one page if your goal is to read more or to write more. You're cleaning one corner of the room. You're not cleaning the whole house, right? If it's a career goal, you're reading one article, watching one video, one podcast about the industry you're in to learn more to advance your career. It's very small things that you can do, and, one bad day is not, or one bad week, you should not get off track, right? You're trying to be healthier and you ate pizza all weekend, you had a party, you had a wedding. The next day, you wake up, you eat healthy again, you go to sleep early, right? Your goal was to be more social and you stayed, inside all week. That's okay. But next week, try to reach out to someone, try to go to a social event. So, again, there's a lot more tips on this. I really recommend reading the book Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Actually, I never had to face until I had to face the her reality on my own only. So that's when I thought, no, it can't go like this. They can always second guess me, or they can others can take first mind. So that's how I thought and told myself that you have to speak what's in your mind. Your priority, you have to learn to say no, you have to learn to say what is good for you, and only you can do it for you. So by only saying this, it won't happen, obviously. I had to do meditation, introspection, taught, I'm self teaching, everything I had to do, and I had to made me believe that only I can help me out. in the reality, and none can do it for me. So it's more like a mental lessons for me. I did for myself, and for other women, I would like to tell them that you have it all in you. So don't let others take horse yours. And for your sake, for your own goodness, you have to care for yourself, and that for that you have to talk for yourself. So I would like to say not only female, every INFP that we need to tell what's in our mind, because our mind is really obviously very amazing, and in the world people need to know what's in our mind.
So my life has changed a lot. It was not always good. I have gone through a lot of trauma. I had an abusive ex-husband and a very abusive marriage and a lot of other trauma in my life. There were times where I was so depressed that I was in bed for days and weeks all day. I couldn't move. I was just in bed. I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to die. Like there were really dark times in my life. I was not always, this positive growing person. And what I would tell you, if you're in a bad dark place, we can be depressed and have intense moods, but if you get to the best version of an INFP, we actually are very optimistic, very idealistic, and you need to be able to get there. So that might mean reaching out to a friend or family member for help, making an appointment with a therapist, or to get medication for depression, or, to heal your trauma in therapy, to take the steps that you need. We are so much stronger than we realize. We have to dig deep. We have a lot of good strengths and idealism and optimism. We can get back up. And again, there's a lot of ways to get back to yourself and heal. So, we got to use our strengths and get through the hard times.
Honestly, for the last few years, my life has gone from hellish to more hellish to more hellish. So uh, it was like I really couldn't crack any opportunity to get a job or for higher study, and that's how I really became frustrated. But honestly, I would love to say that being a female INFP has really helped me in this case, because I learned to let go what is unnecessary luxury for me, what is unnecessary materialistic for me. And being an INFP, I am more drawn to nature, art, and other things. And since we are very down to earth people, I love to I learned to love to live myself with myself, and that's how I have ambitions still, but I don't have the ambitions which doesn't suit me anymore. So honestly, if I look back, it will seem like being an INFP has cost me, honestly. But if I again see very carefully, it will be like being an INFP has helped me out all this hellish situation to today, where I am self confident than before ever. And also, I learned to love my soul and everything.
So the greatest thing about being a female INFP is that we really want to make a difference, and there are so many ways to find meaning. We're always trying to learn and grow, and there's so many podcasts and resources. But in terms of finding meaning, some of us might have a meaningful career, like we're a coach or a teacher, and others might not have so much meaning in their career. But there's so many ways to connect with other people and to help other people. You can join different Facebook groups about topics you're interested in and offer support or tips. You can you know mentor somebody in your job, like somebody who's newly starting out, and give them tips or help, or somebody who just graduated college, right? Help them with a resume or interview tips. You can volunteer in a local organization, whether it's like a church or religious organization, a homeless shelter. There are so many ways to give back and find meaning, and really make a difference in the world. And INFPs are also really creative. That's either musical, or they're good at writing, or art, or whatever you express yourself with. There are so many ways to, express yourself, by drawing or by writing or whatever you can do. So there are so many wonderful things and ways to grow as a female INFP.
When I found out about INP personality and I learned about it more later, the thing has attracted me the most that the connection we have with nature, and that is very easily. So when I found out that, I felt like yes, I love to be with nature from my childhood, and this is I this is where I want to be all my life. Uh, More than cities, villages and countrysides attract me the most. So what I love about INFP is the less materialistic mind they have. I really appreciate that, because this is very unnecessary for me. And I really love myself when I feel I don't give a damn about a materialistic thing much. So this is the thing I love about being an INFP the most. And as I said, my life was very hard, and this trait of me, or an INFP, has driven me to the day where I know my priorities, and I could detach myself from my uh, ambitions, and to the my real purpose, and which is I actually discovered when I researched about INFP more.
3 words to describe being a female INFP are authenticity, idealism, and open minded. The most important is the authenticity, being authentic, being real. We cannot stand shallow, superficial, fake people. We can spot them from a mile away. We want deep connections, people who are real with themselves. So be authentic, be yourself, be real, and just be proud to be an INFP.
So, if I had to describe a female INFP in 3 words, for me, the most suitable ones will be empathetic, caring, and independent minded.